From KSAT12, the news at noon starts right now.
We start off with a new update on last night's Amber Alert. We reported it last night on the Night Beat, but now the girl has been found.
We have also learned that 2 people have been arrested in that case. San Antonio police tell us 7-year-old Mariana Benavidez was found at a local hospital before 2 this morning. 2 women, a 34-year-old and a 21-year-old, now facing kidnapping charges for her disappearance. Their names have not been released yet. We will continue to follow the story developing on air and online. And another developing story, President Joe Biden's son now pleading guilty to charges related to a long-running investigation into his financial dealings and an illegal gun purchase. Hunter Biden has reached a tentative deal with federal prosecutors to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax offenses and enter a diversion program for felony weapon possession. But ABC's Justin Finch reports the president says he continues to support his son, while others say the young Biden is getting special treatment.
After a years-long investigation, Hunter Biden, President Joe Biden's sole surviving son, has reached a tentative agreement with the Justice Department. The deal calls for the younger Biden to plead guilty to misdemeanor tax offenses, and he's expected to reach an agreement with federal prosecutors on the felony charge of possessing a firearm as a drug user.
Sources close to Hunter Biden believe that this will end the more than 5-year investigation that has dogged Hunter and his father.
Investigators have been probing whether Hunter Biden paid adequate taxes on millions of dollars in income, including money he earned from overseas business dealings with China and Ukraine. In Ukraine, Hunter Biden served on the board of a natural gas firm from 2014 to 2019. From 2009 to 2017, while serving as vice president, Joe Biden was tasked by President Obama to oversee U.S. foreign policy in Ukraine. President Biden has said he's never spoken to his son about his foreign business dealings, adding that Hunter Biden, quote, has done nothing wrong. In an interview with ABC News in 2019, Hunter Biden defended his private ventures, echoing his father's statement that he did nothing wrong, but acknowledged he didn't anticipate the political impact on his father's career.
I made a mistake in retrospect as it related to creating any perception that was wrong.
The criminal probe was led by David Weiss, a U.S. attorney appointed by former President Trump. The White House responding with a statement saying the president and first lady love their son and support him as he continues to rebuild his life. But the Trump campaign is slamming the tentative agreement, calling it a sweetheart deal. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, the trial into former President Donald Trump's alleged mishandling of classified documents set to begin in mid-August. The federal judge also announcing that proceedings will take place in Fort Pierce, Florida. He's charged with 37 counts of mishandling top secret documents after he left office and for obstructing the investigation into those documents. But the former president maintains that as president, he had the authority to declassify the documents as well as have possession of them.
This may be a rough day for some people in New Braunfels after an almost sleepless night.
More than 100 people kept out of their homes for hours in order to keep them safe from a chemical leak at a food production plant there. Katrina Weber tells us why plant workers are still at home.
Barricades and police officers made streets in this neighborhood no-go zones all night long. No one could get in, and more than 100 people living there were told to get out after ammonia began leaking from a tank at the New Braunfels Smokehouse food production plant.
We just got knocks on the doors from all the officers saying that to evacuate the premises and to take our animals.
While Garrett Matoka found out in person, the New Braunfels Fire Department says others in the area were notified through reverse 911 calls around 9 last night. Workers inside the plant also were evacuated and sent home.
This was the one night I actually was trying to go to sleep early.
Instead, he spent the night trying to sleep at a relative's home. The fire department says the evacuation was just a precaution. No one was hurt. Once the all clear was given around 6 this morning, everyone was able to go home. Workers arriving for their morning shift here were greeted by a message not too different from what the night shift heard last night. They were told to go home. The plant is still closed. A manager on site was not able to offer any other information, so there's no word on when it might reopen. Garrett Matoka is glad his streets are no longer closed.
Huge inconvenience. We got like a few hours of sleep and that's it.
He wouldn't mind closing his eyes for a little while longer. Katrina Weber, KSAT12 News.
The Bexar County Medical Examiner has identified one woman who died in a deadly crash that happened this past weekend. 30-year-old Desire Luna died after 1 o'clock Saturday morning when another car hit her head on. Police say Luna was driving eastbound in the westbound lanes and hit another car. Both Luna and the driver of that other car had to be cut out of their vehicles, and both died at the hospital. The other driver has not been identified.
A mother of 8 suffering from her injuries 3 weeks after being hit by a driver who police say was driving drunk. Now, while she's still in the hospital, the accused driver is free on bond. Sanjuana Escalante was driving the vehicle that was struck on New Sulphur Springs Road near 410. She's still recovering from several injuries to her left side. Now, while she had a car full of people, no one else was injured. Meantime, her oldest children have been hosting fundraisers in an effort to pay her medical and living expenses.
There is just no excuse. I'm sorry, there really isn't. And my mom should be at home with her kids right now.
Online court records show that 18-year-old Vanessa Alvarado is out on bond, awaiting indictment on a charge of intoxication assault. Doctors have told the family it could take the mother up to a year and a half to make a full recovery.
And 5 people are dead after that head-on crash in Comfort. State troopers say it happened after a car ignored a no-passing zone and crashed into an oncoming car. It happened on Highway 87. All 4 people in the first car died, along with the driver of the other car. Their names have not been released.
Still ahead, what the Texas Senate is doing today to prepare for the impeachment trial of Attorney General Ken Paxton.
And the excitement is building. The Spurs' future has arrived in New York City to some serious fanfare, and we do mean fanfare. Coming up.
And after the break, we're seeing how one local summer camp is helping kids learn STEM while still having fun this summer.
There is a new summer camp for students who like to build things, take things apart, and explore the world of science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM.
Tiffany Huerta shows us the different team building activities and workshops that CAST STEM Adventure Camp is offering.
It's day 1 of summer camp, and students are already flying drones.
We have an obstacle course set up for them, and we're going to try to get some races going as well.
10-year-old Mile Donson is excited to learn about drones.
I can't wait to play with them.
This summer, middle school students from across the San Antonio region are exploring all things STEM.
We're going to be looking at drones within the capacity of logistics and supply chain management, how they're playing an impact on the supply chain as far as how they're using them in warehouses for inventory control, inventory management, also for manufacturing.
While the camp takes place at CAST STEM High School at Southwest ISD, students will also go on fun field trips.
Students will be learning about different STEM activities. We have some of our partners, adventure facilitators, Girls Inc., as well as some of our teachers who have created activities in STEM. We'll also be taking students to some of our partners throughout the week, SAMSAT, Palo Alto College, and CPS Energy.
At CAST STEM Adventure Camp, students can unleash their creativity while they build lifelong skills. Tiffany Huertas, KSAT12 News.
You notice they were indoors doing their
that's a good
drone work.
Summer camp indoors is being highly recommended this week.
No doubt about it. And we look outside, it's like you can see the heat at this point. It is so rough to be outside. We're already in the 90s. Heat indices are already jumping above 100. The aquifer is really taking a hit. I don't like this. It's down 1.3 today to 639. We had built it back up a little bit, and now it's starting to really, really fall off. So as long as it's dry, we're going to have that issue. Molds are low at 470. There is actually a chance for some storms, but it's going to hold off until tomorrow. I'm going to show you that opportunity coming up.
The Texas Senate is set to meet today to hear from the 7-senator committee that is putting together the impeachment trial for Attorney General Ken Paxton. This committee directed to create the rules to govern the trial. Members of the committee have not publicly discussed their work in 3 weeks, but that has not stopped Ken Paxton's allies in the House impeachment managers from lobbying for their preferred package of rules. Paxton's legal team, led by Houston attorney Tony Busby, has urged the committee to recommend rules that would allow the Senate to toss out the House-approved articles of impeachment. Paxton, meanwhile, has been suspended from his duties as AG. Paxton's wife releasing a statement yesterday about her husband's upcoming trial. Republican Texas State Senator Angela Paxton said Texas law compels each member of the Senate to attend, and she will carry out her duties. Paxton facing allegations of abusing his office's powers, retaliating against whistleblowers, and obstructing justice, among other charges. The trial will start by August 28th. It'll be presided over by Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick.
The city of Winona has been without power for 4 days now. The community working together to help each other out. Winona, just located north of Tyler, and was hit hard by severe storms over the weekend. Over 600 people lost power. Despite that, the county, Smith County, now not part of governor's disaster declaration.
Can't cook. I can't cook food. I can't take care of my dogs like I want to.
At last check, Southwestern Electric Power Company was still reporting multiple outages for the town. No word on when that electricity will be fully restored. Can you imagine?
In this heat.
In this heat. That's why we said yesterday, you need to check on friends and family down the street just in case.
And be careful, you know, any activity that you're doing outside, any activity, make sure you've got water and some shade nearby. We were just talking just a minute. Our hats are off to the construction crews. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
When I see them, I just want to give them a bottle of water and some sunscreen.
Yeah, those out working in this heat, it's just unbearable, I would imagine. And it's going to stay that way for today and tomorrow. And you just saw the folks here without power. ERCOT just tweeted out about an hour ago. They've issued a voluntary conservation notice for today from 4 to 8 p.m. due to extreme heat. They're asking Texans to voluntarily reduce their electric use, but they're saying this is not part of emergency operations. So good news, I guess, there. But it just shows you we're using a lot of power. We're using a lot of energy right now with this heat. And you know what? It's not just us. I want to show you that this high pressure, which a lot of people have been asking, why is it so ridiculously hot? Well, it is due to this ridge of high pressure, which is a rather strong one. It is really strong, in fact, and it sits right over Mexico, but it has enough influence to where it's keeping our temperatures very hot too. But our friends in Mexico also dealing with this extreme heat. It's been really, really bad there. They've had a lot of issues as well. Places like Monclova is 107. That's the forecast. High today. Nuevo Laredo, 115. Acuña, 110. So there's a lot of heat there too. This heat spreads across Mexico and much of Texas. We're forecasting a high of 105 today. The record is 103, set back in 1996, so I think we beat that. Look at the forecast high in Del Rio, 112. The record is 106, set back in 1996, so that record's gone for sure. And then you look at the forecast heat indices. These are right back up where we've been the last couple of days with the heat index in between 110 and 115, and that is that dangerous heat where you just don't want to spend a ton of time outside because that heat illness can hit you quickly. We mentioned the ERCOT issue, not an issue, but they're asking people to conserve. Of course, locally, CPS Energy also putting out their yellow day, asking for people to use their conservation measures and maybe do a few other things to help conserve the energy. For more information on that, you can use that QR code. We've got more information on KSAT12. But certainly AC units are going to be running all day long. 89 right now. Dew point is at 76, and this number just will not come down. It comes down a little bit in the afternoons, but when you have a dew point like that, you're going to get a heat index of 100, and we're already starting to see those numbers go above 100 in several spots. 102 is what it feels like in Castroville, 106 in Comfort, feels like 107 into Braunfels, and the heat really now kicking in because our morning clouds went away rather quickly. We had a little band of morning clouds. They're gone, so we've got sunny skies. And as we look at the bigger picture here, there are some storms across far east Texas. And you can kind of see the flow here. It's coming out of the north and west. That may be more over us tomorrow, and I think that as we get into the afternoon hours, we could see a few storms on your Wednesday. In the meantime, here's a look at the high temperatures forecast across the state today. A lot of records could go down, not just here in San Antonio, but San Angelo, Midland. We mentioned Del Rio, Laredo, Corpus Christi potentially. So this heat spreads far. And as we look at the futurecast here, maybe a couple storms this evening. This is around 7 o'clock. Does show some storms erupting, Rock Springs Junction over to Fredericksburg, but they probably don't make it to San Antonio. Tomorrow, I think it's a different story, and this is what I'm keeping my fingers crossed for, and I think we may actually get to increase rain chances just a little bit. 4 o'clock tomorrow, we start to see some storms develop in the Hill Country, and there are some indications that these could work a little bit further south than San Antonio by late tomorrow night and maybe bring us some rain here. It's not a guarantee, but it looks better than it has last couple days. So right now we have a 20% chance of rain in there. If you watch meteorologist Adam Caskey tonight, he may bring those rain chances up just a little bit. That would be great. 10% chance Thursday and Friday. Notice temperatures, though, stay in the triple digits all the way through early next week, guys.
Thank you, Justin.
Hey, he's only 19. He's about to be the top draft pick, about to be a Spur, and his popularity is only headed up. We got that coming up. Hey, the future of the Spurs a little closer to San Antonio. Victor Wembanyama is in New York. He'll be at the draft Thursday night to hear his name called to kick off the big night. Wembanyama is coming off an incredible season as a French League LNB Pro A most valuable player. Because of that and his high basketball IQ, every team would have jumped at the chance to get him, but only one is in line to do that, and that is the San Antonio Spurs. They got the top pick. Here's Victor flying to America earlier yesterday. Imagine the legroom that youngster needs. The teenager arrived at Newark Liberty International Airport just outside of New York City and was greeted by a lot of fans. He signed his name on some basketballs. He signed some Spurs. Yes, there was actually a fan in a Spurs jersey there in New York City at the airport.
Good.
Victor, did you expect all this?
I don't know. I didn't know what flight I was on. But, you know, it's fun. Seeing that you can have such impact on people.
Congrats, buddy. You're right for sure.
That's what it's like in New York. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when he gets to San Antonio? As of right now, the Spurs have 3 picks Thursday night, the first overall, and then 2 picks in the second round at 33 and 44. A lot of speculations as to what they might do with all those picks, and they add them to some future picks as well, because they are stocked up so they can do that. But when it comes to Victor Wembanyama, NBA great LeBron James called him an alien. Ooh, why? Because he's so fluid and graceful on the floor, and we've never really seen anything like him. We sat down with Spurs general manager Brian Wright yesterday to talk about the presumed #1 draft pick. Got to say that.
You've never really seen anything like that before. Size, agility, mobility, poise, leadership, his command of a game. You know, forget the highlight plays, right? There's tons of highlight plays, whether it be a block or a tip dunk or a step back 3, and all those are special. But it's the game within the game, the little things, the subtle things that you see, his attention to detail. And to be doing that so young in one of the best leagues in the world, it's just unique. And so it's definitely a once-in-a-generation type of player with that type of ability. And it's been fun to watch him grow and progress over the last few years.
So Wright and the Spurs will get to watch him grow up for years to come. We were able to talk with ESPN NBA draft analyst Jonathan Genovi. He said just the way Wemby reacted when the Spurs got the first pick tells you everything you need to know about how happy the 19-year-old is because of the Spurs' French connection with Tony Parker and their history of drafting international players. So we asked Jonathan what makes Wemby so good, a player that every NBA team really would like to have.
It's the intersection of size at 7'5", length, the 8-foot wingspan, mobility, skill, feel for the game, instincts on both ends of the floor, competitiveness. just all those things. I mean, we've just never seen that in a package from a player this age, 19 years old. You can think about, like a Kevin Durant type player on offense, a Kevin Garnett type player on defense, but 5 inches taller than both of those guys.
Isn't that fun to know that everybody else wants him, but we're going to get him? That's so cool.
Wingspan.
That's wide. That's way.
What's your wingspan?
6 feet, maybe, if I'm lucky. And there you see a picture of Robert Roberts. She went 1-on-1 with Wimby in France before he came to San Antonio. You're going to see her story with him tomorrow morning on Good Morning America. So she got the first real interview with him. So here's what it looks like. Tomorrow night, live reports start from Brooklyn. Larry Ramirez is going to be there. Then Thursday, the draft night. We've got extended coverage at 5, 6, 6:30. And then on the night being, of course, the NBA draft live right here on KSAT12. So sometime between 7 and 7:10, the city's going to erupt tomorrow, Thursday night.
Horns honking.
Yep.
You hear them already. Still ahead in our next half hour. Crickets. Thousands and thousands of crickets taking over Nevada town. How long experts say these could be around.
And that is seafood in SA Live.
Is that a big piece of
wine?
tuna?
Wait, hold on.
Whoa.
Wow.
Now that's lunch.
That's
Snow
a lot
crab.
of lunch. All right, we'll find out all that's going on coming up. Once you get outside with live cam, it's just brutal. It's warm. So be prepared if you're going outside, or just stay in.
It was my imagination, perhaps, just from the heat. But just looking out over our parking lot, it felt as though you could see the heat. It was it almost felt like it was raining. It was so humid and hot.
Or maybe you're just delirious from the heat. I don't know.
I don't know. You might be right.
Really, I tell you, walk outside and it's like walking into a sauna is what it feels like almost. Let me show you what's going on up in Seattle. Look at that number, 53 right now. The Pacific Northwest is enjoying some incredible temperatures. 57 Cut Bank, 58 in Portland. It makes us a little jealous, not gonna lie. Even New York City's at 76, we'd take that. But the heat is on here in Texas. And look at these numbers already. San Angelo, 104. They're projected to be up around 110 this afternoon. Records for them. Midland, 102. This is more of a dry heat, too, by the way. We're dealing with heat and humidity. Yeah, it's only 89, but it feels a lot hotter than that. And as we look at the excessive heat warnings, they stretch across most of the state. Heat advisories on the fringes of that. And our forecast today, 104 at 4 o'clock, 105, the high temperature. Feels like number will be anywhere between 110 and 115. And we stay hot well into the evening. Still at 90, guys, at 11 o'clock.
A veto from Governor Abbott hitting close to home for some San Antonio residents who were hoping for some safer gun laws. The governor vetoing the Ramon Najera bill. It was named for a man who was killed by 2 loose dogs in February. House Bill 4759 would have increased criminal penalties for owners of dogs considered dangerous. That dangerous dog label, it's an official designation requiring mandatory insurance, special enclosures, a muzzle in public, and signage. But that can only happen after an investigation at Animal Control. And a lot of people did not want to initiate the process because they feared retaliation from the dog's owners. So this bill would have allowed people who called in the complaint to remain anonymous. Again, however, the bill was vetoed.
A local restaurant owner's mascot stolen from the front of his business, but an air tag is the reason the giant bull is now back home. No bull. David Barquette of Taco Don Mudelito in Stone Oak says Manolo, a 50-pound, over 5-foot fiberglass bull, was stolen from his restaurant. He remembered he put an air tag inside it, and since he was out of town, his staff was able to locate the bull.
It was a very surprise. I mean, you can steal maybe an ashtray, maybe a glass, but how do you steal a 150-pound fiberglass bull?
Yeah, how do you steal that? Well, apparently this person did. After calling the police, the bull was found sitting in the front of a home on the east side. Staff was able to retrieve it and bring it back to where he belongs. And now, when the restaurant is closed, the bull gets to sit inside.
We are tracking the latest on that desperate search for a missing submarine carrying wealthy tourists and a crew that wanted to view the wreckage of the Titanic.
The sub losing contact with its anchor shipped about 900 miles off the coast of Cape Cod with 5 people on board. ABC's Rena Roy with who is on board and why hope is running low.
The desperate search continues for 5 people who were headed to get an up-close look at the Titanic shipwreck in a submersible like this one. It's now a race against the clock to find them alive. Among the missing, businessman Shahzada Daoud and his son Suleiman, renowned Titanic researcher Paul-Henri Najoulet, and Hamish Harding, a British billionaire, all paid $250,000 each for the deep-sea excursion. The submersible disappeared Sunday on what was supposed to be an 8 to 10 hour round-trip journey to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, 13,000 feet below the surface, but the sub went off the radar an hour and 45 minutes into the expedition.
There could have been an accident. It could have become entangled in the wreckage of Titanic. It could indeed have had a catastrophic failure. The answer is we don't know just yet.
Coast Guard crews from the U.S. and Canada searching an area 900 miles off the coast of Cape Cod.
It is a challenge to conduct a search in that remote area, but we are deploying all available assets to make sure that we can locate the craft and rescue the people on board.
The Titanic tourists started their expedition from Newfoundland, Canada, Friday on a ship carrying the 21-foot submersible vessel operated by OceanGate Expeditions, which offers trips to the wreckage of the Titanic.
We are taking scans of the wreck.
OceanGate says the submersible was equipped with up to 96 hours of oxygen. More than 48 hours have already passed. The company telling ABC News, our entire focus is on the well-being of the crew, and every step possible is being taken to bring the 5 crew members back safely. The sub is expected to rise to the surface if there are any technical issues. If it's miles underwater, experts say it will be an almost impossible feat to rescue them. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
In the past, we've seen it here, but right now there is a cricket crisis, and it's happening not here, but in western U.S. states. So many crickets right now, it is a disgusting mess just trying to clear them all out. Take a look. Millions of flightless insects known as Mormon crickets now descending in swaths on Nevada. Some of the homeowners there are using vacuum cleaners and power washers to try to clear the crickets out. But the sheer quantity of these insects on the street actually had to force the Department of Transportation in Nevada to use plows and to warn drivers of slick roads because the squashed bugs are so slippery. How gross is that? The crickets are causing widespread damage as well to crops and vegetation in the area.
They just eat because they eat everything. Anything in their path, they'll eat, including each other.
Okay, have I grossed you out enough? Okay, experts say these crickets have a 4 to 6 year cycle, then they go dormant. But for now, the cricket plague could go on in this region for years unless they are brought back under control by predators. And I guess we're one of those predators.
Yeah, they also smell like burned skin or something.
Okay, so no one's going to have lunch after they watch the news show today.
Yeah, well, just, I can't help. That's fact. Coming up, the things you can do to help keep your kids off their summertime phones.
It's a diet technique, maybe. All right, plus the milestone that Taylor Swift achieved after performing in Pittsburgh over the weekend.